And I want to go over a couple of these problems. Do you have a late pass? Want to go over a couple of these problems to make sure that we had a full, good understanding of it. So, how did you guys feel about these problems? Start with that. How did you feel about these problems from last night or yesterday, whenever you did them? Get out your math notebook. So apparently Isaac's the only one who. So, okay, let's start over. Everyone stand up. You're not doing your homework right now. It was due to do. Everyone, I need you to just shake your body. Like, wake yourself up right now. Shake, like for real. Because there are too many asleep people. Everly, shake your body. Drake, shake your body. Molly, shake your body. Allison, shake your body. We're going to keep shaking until everybody in this room is shaking something. Shake your arms, wiggle them. I don't really care. Crack your back. I like it. All right. Sit down. Now, I will ask again. When you were doing your homework last night, how did you feel about it? Okay, that's better. So some of these questions were a little bit tricky. Some of them you had to do more than one step. The biggest one that I do want to talk about is number 5. Okay, so number 5 says, a train travels 16 miles in 20 minutes. At this rate, how many minutes will it take to travel 12 miles? So when you're solving this problem, you're trying to find the number of minutes it takes to travel a certain amount. So it gives you the original of 16 miles in 20 minutes. How many of you guys set it up to start like that? And then as you're doing this problem, you're like, yeah, this isn't going to work. All right, so then you should have taken it and been like, okay, I need to put the 20 minutes on top and find out how long it takes me to go 1 mile. Okay, this is the process that you should have done. And then obviously you divide by 16, so you're going to divide 20 by 16. What do you get when you do 20 divided by 16? Silas? 1.25 minutes. We're going to keep it as a decimal, just because I like decimals better than I like fractions. So then, what do I do with my unit rate? So what do I do with this unit rate here? Samantha?
Set it up like you did it first time, but instead of putting it to 1 mile, I put it to 12.
Top or bottom?
Bottom.
Okay, so 12 miles on the bottom, and then you have to multiply by 12 for the top and the bottom. When you multiply 1 and 2,500 times 12, raise your hand, what do you get? Like 15 minutes. Okay, that was probably the hardest one, because if you set it up like we did all the other ones, it's going to be, not that it's going to be wrong, it's just going to be a whole lot harder. Okay? Did anybody find out the mystery character?
I said monkey.
Oh,
I said silent lunch. Like, why? Like, again, just putting a tad bit of effort into our thought process before we speak is a great thing. Why would you say monkey? Is there a K or a Y or an E? It was not that hard. What was it, Angel?
Batman.
It's amazing what happens when we just try. All right, I'm going to come around real quick. I'm going to check your homework. If you didn't do it and you don't have work, don't have it open. Don't have it out. Kira, did you get your stuff out of the absent folder? Did you get your stuff out of the absent folder?
I think Kayla got all my stuff to me.
Oh, okay. So you have it. You have this work and stuff.
I have it at home.
Okay, that's fine. I just wanted to make sure. All right. Today we are going to be reviewing unit rate, and we're going to be playing a game. So hopefully you guys have have a fairly good understanding of unit rates and the type of questions that you're going to be encountering. Because as much as we would love to have those easy, this is the rate, this is this, what is equal to 1, there's not going to be very many problems that you're going to encounter like that. So today, while you're playing your game, the questions are going to be hard. I'll let you know. But they're not impossible. Go ahead, Ainsley. Did you just do this? So you haven't finished. No homework. So not only did you say some nonsense, but then you didn't even finish it. Jesus, take the wheel, Christian. No. Homework. Angel, you see that? I saw you doing yours in class, so I'm not gonna give you credit. Did you finish it? Let's get started. Alright, so go ahead in your notebook, turn to the next blank above the page, title it Unit Rate Review Notes, and then today's date. Well, I'm not checking both of them, I'm just gonna check last night. You can show me when you start the game. Alright, is there anybody's homework I did not check? Now, those of you that didn't get credit, you have 5 days to get it done, put it into me to get some credit. After that, it is a permanent 0. Alright, you are also going to, if you have not titled the next blank left page, you're going to need a highlighter, so please get a highlighter out. I don't care. That's not because you have a bunch of meetings today that goes with this. So next blank left page. Now, as you guys are moving through your notebook, some of you guys are getting pretty close to the end. I would possibly start thinking about, hey, maybe on the weekend I need to pick up a new notebook. I have notebooks in here. I do not mind giving you a notebook if it happens to where your notebook runs out and you're sitting in class. I do appreciate a replacement notebook though. So like if you run out and I give you a notebook and then you're like, hey, I have one at home, I'll just bring it in, we can trade it. If not, I'll buy new notebooks like I do every year. I'm just saying, be mindful that if you only have 10 pages left, you need to start thinking about getting a new notebook soon. All right, so a rate is what? What is a rate? We've talked about this how many different times? You can look back on your homework from yesterday and get it. You can look back on your homework from last week and get it. So someone look back and tell me, what is the definition of a rate? Everly.
A rate is a comparison of two amounts with different units.
So it's a ratio of two amounts. A ratio of two amounts. Comparison, sorry. A ratio of comparison of two amounts using different units. There should be two ofs in there, sorry. A ratio of comparisons of two amounts using different for units. All right, so an example of a rate would be 80 miles in 2 hours, or 50 students in 2 classes. So those are the rates. Now, what do we call a rate that we put to a comparison of 1? What do we call a rate that we put to a comparison of 1? Silas? A unit rate. So unit rate is what goes here. Bless you. And a unit rate always has a denominator of what number? Always has a denominator of what number? Again, I should see way more hands at this point because this is what, day 3 of rate and unit rate? Ansley. 1. Bless you. All right, so now looking at our rate, I gave you 80 miles in 2 hours, 50 students in 2 classes. Someone tell me what the unit rate for the miles for 1 hour would be. So it would be the unit rate for the miles for 1 hour. Christian?
40 miles per hour.
So 40 miles in 1 hour. Okay, someone give me the rate of the number of students in 1 class. So the unit rate of the number of students in 1 class. Zachary?
25.
So 25, huh?
25 in one class.
Okay, so 25 students per class. Okay, 2 different ways that you can write a unit rate. You can write it in the fraction form, or you can write it in the word form, if that's what you want to call it. Am I going too fast, too slow? Is it okay? All right, so to find unit rate, we have to write the rate as a what? Raise your hand. What do we have to write the rate as? Kira? Fraction. And then what operation do we use to find essentially equivalent fraction with a denominator of 1? So what operation do we use? What operation do we use? I need new hands. Like those of you who have your hands up right now, put them down. I know y'all know. So what operation do we use to find unit rate? That's essentially what this question is asking. Kira, put your hand down. This is terrifying, y'all. You have a test on this on Tuesday. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-ish people that know, that can tell me. How are you supposed to play a game today if those 7 people are not one of your partners? Like, that's gonna be a problem.
I was right.
I'm not asking for an explanation. I simply want someone to raise their hand who are not those 7 people and answer the question. And if you don't know, do you have notes? Do you have a notebook? Is it slapped full of things that will help you? Angel?
Division.
Yes. So using division. You write an equivalent fraction with a denominator of 1. All right, so we did this one very similar to the one we did up there. How do I go from 2 to 1? We know that we're going to divide. What are we going to divide by, Christian?
2.
Okay, so if I divide by 2 on the bottom, what do I have to do on the top? Divide by 2 as well. Most of us can do this in our head, but just because this is our notes, we're going to go ahead and show our work. What do we multiply 2 by to get really close to 9?
4.
What do we multiply 2 by to get 10?
5.
All right, so our answer is 45 miles in 1 hour. All right, as a group, you're answering the 4 practice problems on the bottom. Please draw your arrows, please draw your division, because again, this is, these are your notes. Now when you do your actual work, do it however you want, but for your notes, I would like you to keep doing the proportion. Any questions with what you're doing for the bottom 4 problems? All right, go ahead, you're working with your groups. I'm gonna give you 3 minutes.
For number 9. Okay, yeah, let's write all of them down to start. So now they were all
Wait, so no, write all of them down.
Yeah, write all of them down. We're just writing all of them down. We won't start till we're all done, okay? I'm not. I did that too. Oh no, we're doing number 9. We're doing 9. All of them.
Okay.
Wait, no, we have to wait for everybody to start doing the division. Okay, is everybody get mine? Is everybody done writing their division? Okay, guys, is everybody ready to start division? Are you? While Angel's writing, we can start from number 9 when we have all the stuff. He actually only needs to do it. Okay, he's done now.
But did you work together?
Okay, are we ready? Okay, 3. Okay, guys, now let's do the second one because the first one is 40 miles. So now let's do 4 goes into 10 twice minus 8. The second one is 25. And then that one's 25, but that one was so easy. No, it's only 40. The first one is number 9. So I want the third one. I'll wait for you guys to be on the third one. We just did this one. So these two are out. Actually, we can all read them together. Okay, I'm all done. We're all done, right? Angel. Okay, so for this third one, 5 goes into 25 times. 5 times minus 25 is 0. And then 5 goes into 0 times. So you have 50 for that. And then only the 6 locations. And here's one. The second one. Yeah. Yeah. You know that. This one, the third one is 50. And the fourth one is 2 guys. Yeah. Tell me what you want first, okay? Use your hands. I did that. I did that. No, number 3 is 50. It's 50. It's 50. Oh, yeah, there's a 0. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we went finish. Yeah.
All right, let's go ahead and go over these. So they can go, guys. They can go 120 miles in 3 hours. How do we walk me through it? Somebody. Alex.
So you divide 3 by 1, and wait a minute. 3 will go to 1 3 times, since 3 divided by 3 is 1.
Okay.
Then you divide the top number by 3, and you get 40.
So they go 40 miles in 1 hour. All right. Next one, 100 pages in 4 hours. All right, Drake.
So the bottom you divide by 4 to get 1. Then you divide the top one by 4 again, and then you get 25
25 what?
pages.
All right, please make sure you guys are writing your units with these. So 25 pages in 1 hour. All right, the next one, we have $250 for 5 pairs of shoes. Isaac.
So to get 1, you divide the bottom by 5. So then you also divide the top by 5, and you get $50.
So $50 per 1 pair of shoes, or per pair, however you want to say it. All right, and then the last one. All right, Christian.
You divide 3 by 3, and you get 1, and then you divide 6 by 3, and you get 3. No, 2.
2, 3,
2.
2. Are you sure?
I'm sure.
All right. So they go on 2 vacays per year. All right, please go ahead and glue this in on this page. Shh, guys, do not talk. Once you have it glued in, I need you to slide over to the right side and title it. Stand up when you have this titled, please. All right, turn the page. Title the next blank left page. Unit rate practice / homework 11/15. Turn the page. Title the next blank left page. Unit rate practice / homework 11/15. Stand up when you're done. All right, and then last thing, slide over to the left page and title it Unit Rate Exit Ticket 11/15. Stand up when you're done. All right, so obviously we have a few things that we're doing today. The last thing that you will do, well, I'll probably set my timer for 30 minutes, let you guys play the game for about 30 minutes. That's 30 minutes of practice. Once the timer goes off, I'll collect things. You will get your exit ticket. This is getting turned into the bin when you're finished with it. If that takes you the rest of the class period, which I hope it doesn't, but if it does, nonetheless, that's what you're working on. So this is your exit ticket, which you will get after your game today. When you get this back after I grade it, it will go on this page. Hence the reason we made a page for it, because we have a tendency to not put things where they're supposed to go when we get them back. Once you're done with your exit ticket, you're gonna come to me and you're gonna get your practice problems. This is your homework tonight, okay? So I'm about to explain the game. You're gonna play the game for 25, 30 minutes. When you're done and we collect everything, I'm gonna pass out exit tickets. You're gonna do the exit ticket, turn it in, and come and get your homework. All right, these are pretty basic questions for unit rate. Again, it's just practice. What you're gonna notice a lot though, is a lot of it has to do with money. And a lot of it is, it's not hard, but there are some numbers that are not as easy. I say this very lightly. If you can do your work on this, why are you on your iPad? Bring it here. You can do your work on this paper if you feel like you can fit it in and I will be able to read it. If you're like, I just don't think that's a good idea, you can put your answers on this, put your work on your homework page. Okay? I'm going to leave that up to you. Just whatever you do, make sure that you have work, because if you don't have work, you don't get credit. All right?
Wait, so is the exit ticket like our homework?
No, your exit ticket is an exit ticket. Like, you have to do that before you get your homework. So if you, like I said, if you take the rest of the class period after the game is done to answer those 2 questions on your exit ticket, then you have all of your homework for homework tonight. Okay? But no, your exit ticket is not your homework. All right, so this is your 4 in a row game board. Please do not write on this. Actually did not have a chance to laminate them. Probably the only ones that are not laminated. So the directions are on the top. And I love that you don't want to focus. Okay. So it's calculating unit rate from a ratio. So it tells you exactly what you're going to have to do. So directions, it says 2 6-sided dice. I'm going to give you, and I grabbed the wrong dice. Just kidding. So back here, I'm going to grab it. It's a dice, and it's got a dice inside of a dice. So you're actually only getting 1 dice.
Whoa.
Okay, but it's like a double dice. And I know you can't read it because it's super blurry, but you'll have this right in front of you in a few minutes. So the object of the game is to be the first person to cover a line of 4 boxes. You can do it vertically, horizontally, or diagonally. So you're just trying to get like a connect 4 in a way. Does that make sense? The directions are, on your turn, roll both dice and add them together to find the sum of the dice in the chart and read the scenario. So let's say I roll the dice and I get a 6. So I'm going to say, okay, oh, there it is. So I would have to find the ratio of students to teachers is 368 to 16. You have to find the ratio of students to 1 teacher. So you're just taking this 368 to 16, and you're finding the unit rate. So in your notebook, and you know how I love to give y'all examples, so you can't be like, oh, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. In your notebook, you're not doing this. You're not writing this. I don't want you to, you're gonna put this as your original ratio. You have a question?
So when one person rolls it, does the whole table do the problem or just that?
Hold on. Let's just get through what it's supposed to look like first. Okay? So I have my ratio written out. I'm going to rewrite it in fraction form, and technically I'm going to put number 6 because I know what that is. And this is students to teachers. You must have your units. I don't care if you write the whole word out or if you just use a letter. That's completely up to you. But you have to have your units. And then I would set it equal to 1 teacher. So I'd show that I got to divide here, got to divide here, and then over here I do 368 divided by 16. No, I'm not solving this problem for you. Okay? Now, let's say I get it right, and I say that it's whatever to 1. Obviously, you notice that there are no, like, 1s down here. So let's just say my answer was 24. I would take one of my little pieces, and I'd put it on 24. And then my object, my job, to try to win, is to make one that way, one this way. Obviously, I can't go up because there's only one spot up, or go diagonal. Yes, I want everybody solving the problems. Okay? Why do I want everybody solving the problems? Any ideas why? Summer? Well, to make sure, right? Like, if I solve that problem wrong, and I'm the only one who did it, how do I know if I actually did it right or not? All right, so then let's say it says state the unit rate and the correct units. Look for the unit rate on the game board below. Cover one available box with that answer, provided that the box directly below it has already been covered. Any box that is in the bottom row may be covered at any time if there's no available boxes. So like down here, like you can cover up any one of these if you wanted, if it was your turn or whatever. Then number 5, it says if you rolled and got wild, which is 12, solve any problem you want. So you can pick any problem on this game board and solve it. And then cover that answer on the game board. Take turns until one player covers a line of 4 boxes with his or her own counters. Yes?
What if you get the same number again?
It's so let's say Ansley and I are partners, and I rolled 6 and I got it wrong and Ansley got it right. I don't get to put a box down, or I don't get to cover it up if I got it wrong. So like if Ansley rolled 3 times later, she got a 6. We already know that she has the right answer, so technically it's already done. So she would just get to cover it up because she'd already have the work in her notebook. Does that make sense? Yeah.
What if you got it right and you rolled again and somebody else got a 6 but they
But if it's already covered, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like you just lose a turn. Okay. All right. Any other questions? Now.
So, like, would you roll the dice again and answer a new question and just put it any spot you want? Or?
No. Like if you rolled a 6 and I solved a 6, it's just a lose a turn. Like if I got it right and I covered it up, it's a lose a turn. Yes, Christian?
Is this like an extra credit thing if you like win first you get extra credit?
Don't I always give extra credit? Do you have a test on Tuesday?
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. There are also, sorry, I put that in the wrong spot. There are also 2 game boards. Okay, so let's say that you and your partner have played a couple rounds. You both have run a couple times. Keep track of who wins and how many times you win, because yes, there is extra credit. And if you would like, you can come and get a different game board if I have a different game board available. Okay? Questions about the game? Questions about the work that you have to do for the game? Good? All right, you can move around the room with your partner. You don't have to stay at a table. It is only 2 people. If there are 3 people, like if there's an odd person and you want to have a third person, that's fine, but I would prefer for you guys to try to get to 2 people first and then go from there. Are there any other questions before we get started? Okay, go ahead and